There is still a lot of evidence to be processed, and who knows, it may be more links between Kohberger and this murder scene.
And I want to play a soundbite. Nancy, you interviewed one of the classmates earlier about what this person was like, the changes in Bryan Kohberger's behavior. Let's take a listen to that.
One of my classmates did observe that he became more animated towards the end of the term. I can support that observation in part myself. I did notice that he became a little chattier. He became a little more animated. Mostly what I noticed, though, is he was always showing up a little late, and he was always showing up with a cup of coffee in hand. He seemed like he was more exhausted going into the tail end of the term.
And Nancy, the authorities in Moscow, they're still asking for information, aren't they? Like, they still want the public to bring in tips about this particular, now that they have the name, they want tips on Bryan Kohberger, don't they?
Yeah, they want information like what we just heard. That's Ben Roberts, also in the criminology program at WSU. They want to know, I mean, that change in personality suddenly. He went from, kind of quiet and sullen and to suddenly very chatty and like happy. And so what brought that change? And the change happened around the time of the murders. We've also been hearing from students because Kohberger is a teaching assistant at WSU, and students had earlier complained that he was really harsh with his grades and very critical. And then around the time of the murders, he suddenly just like checked off, all their papers without any comments.
Wow. Nancy Liu reporting live for us in Moscow. Thank you for that. I also want to bring in Lauren Paterson. She's a reporter for Northwest Public Broadcasting and Spokane Public Radio, also a Moscow resident, been following this case since the beginning. That's not the only person who's talking about this former doctoral student. I'm saying former. I mean, he's currently a doctoral student. I don't think that's going to last long. What else are you hearing, Lauren?
Well, the speculation's going. The rumor mill is fully churning. I'm hearing a lot of the same things that have been discussed here. Loner, nerdy, awkward. I guess the problem is that could describe just about everybody in academia or graduate school. But when I was at that press conference, I mean, Moscow PD, they were smiling. They feel confident, it seems. But now comes this next chapter, and this has all been on the offense. I mean, this investigation.
What about the former classmates? They're sort of coming out of the woodwork. At first, they were very reticent, but now there's more people. I think there's somebody who said he was odd from the beginning, and there's a brewery owner, I think, who said that he had a behavior to the wait staff. I think that were other classmates of him saying that he was derogatory about fellow students and LGBTQ. How many of these fellow students are now coming forward and giving us a real picture of who this man is?
I haven't been able to touch base with any Wazoo students, WSU, I guess we call it Wazoo out here, but any WSU students specifically. I could go down to the corner club, maybe ask around, see if anybody saw him acting out there. I did get one secondhand rumor that as a TA and in some of his criminology classes, he would like to ask about the grisly details, but that's coming from a couple of different sources, several sources removed. So it'll be interesting to see how this unfolds, especially because some of these people are going to be asked not to speak to the media anymore, as they may be called to court as character witnesses.
Makes perfect sense. Lauren Paterson, thank you again for joining us as always. We appreciate it. We're going to continue to follow this story. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.